So
Is this video on?
No, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Abdul Wahab, click on your video camera. Your video's not on.
how do you click on it? It's
There must be a video button.
no, it should be on.
Alright, you're live again on YouTube, so let's quickly test this again.
It's not coming through.
You're live on YouTube.
Without his video.
Yeah, it's just got the icon of, the A.
All right, well, we should have had that fixed before you went live. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, guys. We're back. We're just about to get everything sorted out. UK Apache's with me. Abdul Wahab's with me. We're just trying to get his video up. But in the meanwhile, Abdul Wahab, it's fine. Everyone can hear you until Abdul Rahman gets your. I think we need to hang up and call back, man. You should have just said so ages ago.
It's okay, man. We don't have to have video.
Abdul Rahman, I just want a response. Yeah, should we just hang up and call him back?
Yeah, go on. No, that was me. I just added you back to the call. Abdul Wahab needs to leave the call, and then I'll add him back.
Abdul Wahab, can you hang up and we'll add you back? You need to hang up.
No problem, inshallah.
And then I'll ring him again.
There we go. Yay.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!
That's a battle, man. Shaitan does not want us talking to each other today, it seems. But alhamdulillah, we're back. We're here. And okay, where were we? So let's get started. So you were saying something about these first couple of days of Ramadan, the fasting, the food.
Basically, I was saying that for me, that the impacts is not so of the need of missing the food and stuff, because like the Prophet ﷺ, he said about Sha'ban, that we neglect that month, So I mean, alhamdulillah, I've been doing some Mondays and Thursdays, and it's kind of got me into the mode. And then so when this came in, it wasn't a big impact on feeling it, because I know how that feel of that having done those previous fasts. But saying that, the first day is always the easiest one, because you've eaten the day before, So when it gets onto the second day now, like myself, I just have one meal mostly. You come into this one meal mode, isn't it? You don't have time to have, unless people eat more. I don't know. I have one meal modes, and a bit of suhoor, which is just a little bit of nourishment, some fruit and some dates and stuff like, and some maybe a bowl of cereal, if that's a lot anyway. But so then you start feeling this kind of lacking of that food, and then it becomes custom anyway, because your stomach shrinks and you just become accustomed to it, and you realize that you don't even need all this food that we consume, to be honest.
Well, do you think that when we talk about Ramadan and we talk about fasting, and everyone does this, obviously, every subject, every lecture, every station, everything, everyone's always talking about the food we eat.
Yeah, we do.
And I think isn't Ramadan, the fasting, supposed to be not the food?
Definitely.
Isn't it about that for a little while? Can you stop thinking about your stomach?
Yes.
Its purpose is to just take you away from that attachment to those things that have really pulled us in. So the dunya, the attachment, the me, the selfish attitudes, the selfish behavior. The purpose is that when you're hungry, aren't you supposed to enjoy that moment and really embrace it, hug it, like a Fight Club moment, it's
exactly.
You're missing the point, man.
No, that's right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this is what people focus on, and in a sense of saying that. I'm not saying that I don't focus on that, because I've just talked about, obviously, but I'm not saying it's the prime thing that I focus on. But I'm going to start with that, because that's the first thing, i.e., in a sense of that we in the dunya we don't have the other things, or we start not having, yes, like the food, the things that we can see. The other things you're talking about is the spiritual matter, which I obviously yeah. So that comes in, that kicks in the fasting mode, alhamdulillah. Like I said, because when I've done the previous fasts, I know about the spiritual matter, in a sense of the connection of being on that high, being on that thing, that also saying that, connecting to food as well, knowing that you don't need food, right, is an amazing spiritual matter as well. Knowing that we consume too much food, and then when we get to this month, Allah teaches us, look, or in fasting, because like I said, I've done fasting before, so those who practiced fasting will know that this is something that we don't really need. So why do we make such a fuss over it? You know, or why do you think we have to, you know, like we've done in these last months of, well, this month of the lockdown, so much people are running into supermarkets and piled in all the food.
Power, yeah, panic buying,
Yeah,
pushing,
panic
fighting
buying.
over toilet paper.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. And connecting to Ramadan, obviously the benefits of Ramadan. There's so much to talk about. I can't give it justice because I'm not a scholar and I'm just a common layman. But from my personal, experiences so
Well,
far.
that's who you're talking to, bro. You're talking to a bunch of laymen, and we
Alhamdulillah.
wanna just kind of we want to understand each other. We want
Yeah.
to help each other. We want to hold hands and say
Well,
we're here for each other.
this Ramadan is totally different, isn't it? It's totally different. It doesn't just come with the sacrifice of, like I said, the dunya food and stuff. It comes with the sacrifice of not having the masajid. The masajid that are closed, not having the company of seeing your brothers, not being able to even hug them. I went to Islam Channel just a few weeks ago, and was there to do like an appeal event.
Yeah.
And when I saw the brothers and stuff, you couldn't even hug them. And the brother mentioned that as well, actually, on TV. There's one brother that he does a lot of that appeal stuff, and basically, he mentioned that, wow, every time we see each other, because he comes from the same area as me, for over 25 years we've been going to the same masjid, and as soon as we see each other, we always hug each other. And this time we couldn't even do that. You have to stick this, and it's weird. You can't even shake a brother's hand. That is the most weirdest thing. Like, that's happened recently, and then you've got Ramadan, the time of even more compassion. The Prophet Muhammad SAW was
More
more
love, more brotherhood,
more
more
love.
sisterhood.
Exactly. And that's just been taken away from you. Now Allah knows best why He's done this action. For me personally, because everybody with all these million conspiracy theories and all these things,
Yeah, go on. You want to share some of your conspiracy theories? What are yours? What's going on? Abdul Wahab, come on, give it to us straight.
I'm
What's
not
going on?
No, I'm gonna look. I watch videos. I watch YouTube videos. I like to see what's going about the G5 and this, and it came from that this is chemical warfare and aliens.
Somebody send me a picture. Somebody send me a picture of the Tower of Mordor with the
5G,
evil eye of Saruman, and it showed that, look, 5G towers going up everywhere.
One thing I have to say, right, connected to all this, right, is that alhamdulillah, I don't even know, I'm a PS4 player, right? I have to admit, I do play it as a big man. I don't care what anybody's got to say. I know you've got one in the house. Don't try it. I play PS4, right? And you know what? The latest Doom game was released. Yeah.
Doom. Oh yeah. Okay.
Now, for those who are old school, right, we used to play that back in the day. So
how about Quake? Did you play Quake?
I wasn't a Quake player. No, I was a Tekken player and a
Tekken.
Doom player.
Okay. How about EverQuest? EQ?
No, man, you're American and you play on them. We in the UK, we play Tekken. Right?
You play checkers.
Tekken is a fighting game. Tekken, the fighting game.
Yeah, I know Tekken. I remember Tekken.
What I say, so they released that, and believe me, that's coming, and I'm going off the subject, but that's just coming such a great, it's come like a big blessing that got released. And I should be concentrating.
Well, how about a different angle to this, Abdul Wahab?
I'm going to go to the conspiracy theories. I'm going to go to the conspiracy. Okay, so basically, there's all these conspiracy theories, and all these things are bombarding with news about the corona.
Easy with the bombing and bombarding thing, okay? Easy.
and all this kind of thing has just come, like, it's quite overwhelming sometimes. It's quite overwhelming. And alhamdulillah, we are Muslim. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Believe me, at least one thing that we've got 100% truth is the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The word of Allah. So no Muslim, I don't care who you are, whether you're a strong practicing Muslim or you're not, and you're into conspiracy theories or you're not, we know that all this information, if you want to check it out, yes, you're going to check it. But remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the controller of everything. He controls everything. And at the end of the day, we know that the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is it. And kalam Allah is the truth. So we always go back to that. And that's one thing that is strength for me in this time, that with all these conspiracies, this is going to happen, and that war is going to take place, and this or what, this after this is going to be a recession, and that, yes, maybe things are going to happen, things are going to change, but Allah Akbar, whatever Allah says in the Quran and the hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are truth. So we can always go back to that and not worry about, is that true or is that not true? It's 100% truth. While other people, I feel sorry for them. Like the people who have haven't got this truth. They're be in such confusement. People have killed themselves over these issues. People have committed suicide. I've seen it. Yes, people have committed because they feel that something, is not, this is such a great test. They can't bear it. It's funny how I mean, when I say it's funny, I don't mean fun in a laughing matter. I mean it in a sense of like how you have some celebrities who are meant to be the pinnacle of society and they have the best path, right? And I'm not saying they're bad or good, but you find them. They have everything. They may have the looks that people say that one should have these great, these type of looks what they advertise, and or this type of shape and this type of money and this type of fame and this type of love, and yet still they've committed suicide. Look at that. And then you find people in Syria, right, in the war zones, children and the Muslim and people are suffering, yeah, and they never ever thought about doing that. They're still struggling and starving people. People have nothing to eat, and they would not take something and kill themselves, or and they have nothing because they have.
Well, I get it. Your point you're making is that without that conviction of faith, that knowing what your purpose is and knowing who your Lord is and the one who made you, then you're going to have a hollowness inside that no matter how wealthy or successful you are, that hollowness will cave in eventually and you'll crack.
100.
And that's what's happened. People have just given up on life because the surface is shallow and inside is hollow. When that happens, it becomes difficult. It becomes really painful and hard to carry. But when you have Islam and when you believe in Allah, when you know the truth, I should say, when you have the facts of what is the purpose of life and that my Lord created me, what my purpose is, then I think that fills you and gives you a solid center core, gives you a strength.
And the purpose, as you know in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ.
وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ.
Naam.
Yes.
So
MashaAllah,
this is the
MashaAllah.
hadith,
And it's a tongue twister. I'm always getting that one backwards. وَمَا خَلَقْتَ إِنسَ وَجِنَّ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Astaghfirullah. No,
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
and it's beautiful because the jinn come first because Allah created them first
Of
and then He
course,
created
yes.
mankind after.
Yes, yes. As we know the story about Iblis and how he was condemned forever because of pride and not being grateful. And when he saw Adam alayhi salam, this is what he had in him. And may Allah protect us from that as well. And may Allah protect us from, from not thinking or ever thinking that we can never, survive any test that comes. For whatever Allah puts out, He says that you can pass it. You can. He doesn't give you a test that you cannot pass. Whether what test
Allah says, I don't burden a soul more than it can bear, no doubt.
now.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So we have the means to do it, as long as we have the faith and we always tap into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and try to follow the best example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then, we can pass these days of being isolated and this test that we're seeing around the world that we've never seen worldwide. Usually we see tests in different countries and think, wow, look, even if we've got a heart to feel for these people, because sometimes we don't feel it, because we're in such comfort, we eat every day. The shop down the road has always got whatever we need, and one little problem that's happened in the past, we've all run riot, but we've never seen such a time. We've never seen such a time with.
Well, I was saying that this is something that I find quite comfortable. As sad as it is, I prefer this because the Prophet ﷺ prayed the Taraweeh, read the Quran in his house, and it was later days after he left us, ﷺ, that people started to do, the Tabi'een started to, and beyond them after them, that they made the Taraweeh bigger and bigger, and Taraweeh became something in the masjid more. And when you look at now, the past 50 years, it's gone well out of control. Like the masajid, mosques are packed in Tarawih. And the rest of the year, they're almost absent. Like the people are just absent from Islam and Deen. And this is what this phrase people are saying, the Ramadani Muslims or people that are only engaging. I take it the opposite. I take the positives, that at least Muslims are engaging at Eid. They're engaging at Jum'ah. They're engaging at Ramadan. Fantastic. It's a start. And those are the bridges we cross. But
Yeah.
this particular odd time of being at home in Ramadan, I think it's what everyone really needed. You really need to sit down and look at your family situation. You need to look at your house. The Ramadan is about cleaning yourself and your house from haram and shayateen. So I really think that going to the masjid is not going to help enough. And the Prophet ﷺ prayed Tarawih in his home. But fasting is all about the hunger, not about the food. And this is why everyone thinks that, oh, what are you going to have for iftar? What are you going to have for suhoor? Let me plan it. So much energy is made into planning and efforts are spent into planning iftar and suhoor. If only half of that was spent on actual renovation of the soul, rebuilding of rejuvenating the soul with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reconnecting with Azza wa Jal.
I mean, I always, Allah Akbar, I'm weak at everything. I'm a weak person. But alhamdulillah, I always try to talk about I mean, the Quran is the key for all this, the Quran. And I think a lot of us, we haven't, in myself as well, I'm guilty, to tap in more into the Quran and to understand it and to recite it. The tranquility that comes upon a person when reciting the Quran and memorizing it and understanding it and trying to live by it. But just even reciting it, the beautifulness just from the recitation of the Quran. I mean, as a person coming from, from my background being into singing songs and stuff like that and writing lyrics and all that, when I started to tap into the Quran, it blew my head off. My mum used to play it when I was young, obviously, and I used to listen, I think, and it's really weird because I used to listen to,
You mean he blew your mind? Yeah, he didn't blow your head off.
blew my mind, my head, whatever you want to say.
I didn't blow your head off because you wouldn't be here right now if it did, bro. Being Muslims, that's why I'm saying all this stuff. So much violence in your conversation.
It's the doom, man. It's the doom.
It's like bombarded and blew my head off and doom and gloom. Hey, listen, carry on. Sorry, go back.
I'm done serious. So basically, so the Quran, when I used to hear it as a young boy, I said, who's this? Like, what is this? Like, this was, what's this slow type of speech or something? Because I didn't understand it, obviously, and was listening to it on and off, and I thought, wow, But later on, when I started to study it and actually start to memorize, alhamdulillah, I've memorized a decent portion of the Quran and still studying and still trying to memorize and understand it. It's really unbelievable. There's so much to tap into the Quran. There's so much, but just the fact how it's put together. How it's put together in a perfect form of I don't want to say the wrong things because people take things so personal, like rhyme, how the words interact with each other, and that's obviously that can only come from the creator, because no man could ever put that together. No song could match that.
وَلَن
Nah.
تَفْعَلُوا, and they will never be able to do it.
Exactly.
It's a challenge in the Quran.
Exactly. And and this is just amazing. And I've spoke to so much people that they can't even read the Quran. Like, they can't. I mean, I'm not I'm not saying anything on anybody, but some people, we've been Muslims for so many years, and we never even thought, let's try to learn some Arabic. Let's try to see, and stuff. Because I'm half Arab myself, but I didn't have the language given to me. My mum and dad divorced when I was one, so I was an orphan actually, because my dad was never there. And I learned that not too long ago, that when you're,
MashaAllah.
yeah, alhamdulillah, when don't get me wrong, I speak to my dad over the years. I spoke to, he's an American, may Allah bless him, he's a funny guy, but he's Iraqi. And my mum, obviously she died 11 years ago, may Allah bless her, so I mean.
Wait, so your mom is from, your dad is Iraqi.
My dad's Iraqi Arab, yes, because you've got Iraqi Kurdish as well and stuff. My dad is Iraqi Arab, and my mum was South African Asian, but from South Africa, but lived most of her life in the UK. Eventually, when they got kicked out, because my grandmother was Nelson Mandela's first secretary, and they were.
We talked about this at the Dorchester Hotel, if you remember. Carry on.
Yes.
Tell us about this. This is amazing.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I come from a really already I came from a nutter background, straight from the beginning. I was tested.
Original nutter, yeah.
Original, because basically my grandmother and my grandfather were involved in the ANC, the African National Congress at that time, where they were fighting for justice. And if anybody didn't know about what happened in South Africa with the apartheid system, which was an evil system to separate people by color, the white people at the top, and then you had the mixed race. Then you had and then you had the mixed race. Then you had the Asians, and the Indians, and then you had the Africans at the bottom. And my grandfather was obviously, he was a person for justice, so he joined the ANC, the African National Congress, which was a party against the system at that time. And Nelson Mandela, obviously, who passed away, a great leader of our time, he was the leader of that party, and he was looking at that time for a secretary. So my grandfather introduced his wife, which was my grandmother, and she became the secretary of Nelson Mandela at the beginning.
Right.
And he was in many jails, my grandfather, and stuff, and suffering and stuff like that. And so the police used to come around their house. Anyway, when they got kicked,
wow.
Yeah, it was a serious time. People got killed, and the history's all there. And it was a revolution, and and they fought for a cause.
Yeah, yeah.
And alhamdulillah, but then they got kicked out of the country, and could never return. before it got its freedom, and before Mandela became the president. And my grandfather, even at old age, they wouldn't allow him to go back in. But what happened?
Really? Oh
Yeah,
wow. Why not?
they just felt him as a threat or
Right.
something.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Wow.
He wasn't allowed to go
Means
back
he
in.
was quite influential, man. He had big influence.
Alhamdulillah, he was very educated. He was a bookkeeper, and
Yeah.
also he spoke 4 languages. You know, he spoke the Swahili, he spoke the Urdu, he spoke the another English, of course, and another Asian language, and or Indian language, should I say? And yes, so he was very educated. So when my mum came over here, and as a nurse, and my grandmother came over here, she met my father because my father came over here as well from Iraq to
Right.
study and stuff, and they married, and then I was born here.
Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah.
And I was taken to Iraq. But unfortunately, it never worked out. In the first year, my mum left and my dad stayed there. And so I wasn't raised with my father.
Right.
Yeah, I only met him when I was 20 years old for 1 month in Iraq. I went to Iraq. My mum took me eventually when Saddam Hussein was ruling. And
All right.
yeah, and yeah. So, but alhamdulillah, he actually moved eventually from Iraq. He remarried 10 years after. My mum never remarried. She stayed single, and she died
Okay.
11 years ago. So I was a single child and an
Right.
orphan. Yeah, and an orphan in Islam, because in Islam your father doesn't have to die. It's just if he's not around, the father's not around, then you're classed as an orphan.
So your dad's got his own family in America, but your mom's passed away.
Yes, my dad remarried his cousin 10 years after, which I know all of them. That my brothers and sisters are all big, and they're in America now, in Texas actually.
My
Yeah,
home
you know
state, bro.
Texas, yeah, you know
Home
Texas.
state. I've got my Stetson here somewhere. Can you bring me my Stetson, Mickey? One of
Wow.
them's gonna bring my Stetson for you. But yeah, okay. So your grandma's here with you though, right?
My grandmother's here. I've been looking after her ever
I
since
hear
my
you
mum.
talk about her quite a lot when I spend time with you. Your grandma's amazing. You know, you've had a lot of time with her, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, amazing enough. You know, when I was growing up, my grandmother was a very serious woman. My mum was very loving and caring. My grandmother didn't care about that. She just, she was a very to your face person. And, you know, if you mess with her in the wrong way, you're just going to, oh, mashallah.
Carry on, partner.
Bro,
Carry on.
I think we have to bring back Dallas, man. You're going to be JR in Dallas, definitely.
No, not Dallas. I'm from
the,
Houston.
the,
I'm
the,
Oil County. Dallas JR's more of the, we're a little bit different ranches. I'm on the other side, over by Sugarland.
Okay, mashallah. I know Texas is a big place. It's a big place.
Texas is gigantic. Texas is bigger than all of England, man. It's huge.
I know. I mean, there's got a beautiful masjid in Plano. That's a very well known.
I know Plano, Texas. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've been to that masjid. Beautiful mosque there.
That masjid,
Amazing.
I went there for Ramadan. It's amazing. And every Jummah in Ramadan, they had like a celebrity Muslim come in. So they had Imam Siraj Wahaj. I met him there. Allahu Akbar. They had, what's his name? The other one, the Da'i, that gives got lots of talks. Alim Khan, or whatever his name.
Noman Ali Khan.
Yes, mashallah. Forgive me. Forgive me, man.
Yeah, Noman Ali Khan. That's right. Suraj Wahaj.
I love
Okay.
that brother. He's a nice brother. Sorry, forgive me for that.
Lovely brother, mashallah. No, it was just interesting. Carry on.
They had Yasser Qadi, yeah.
Yasser Qadi, of course. I mean, Yasser's from Houston. Noman is just down the road from us, actually, just south of Houston. So we're not too far from each other.
Yes. So that's it's a nice place, mashallah. But I was just saying about my grandmother. Growing up with her, she was a very serious woman, and she's very strong. And since when my mum became ill 11 years ago, and I was still in the music industry actually at that time, and I was making dua, oh Allah, kind of make a way for me to make a way out in a sense. But even though I've done music for a message, a lot of people get confused, think I came from being a bad boy. And no, I didn't come from that. To be honest, I didn't. I wasn't saying I wasn't a part of some things that happen, and we all do. We all get involved in certain issues.
Yeah.
But my issue, my main reason that I got into music was to do a message, because I got raised up with reggae. Like outside my area, there was predominantly after I moved to the first people I moved to was like predominantly English people, white people.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, it was difficult because at that time there's a lot of racism going on in the UK.
Really?
Oh my God, it used to be
What? There was racism here?
yeah, of course, exactly. A lot of racism. I mean, more than a lot of these youths ever imagined today, in a sense. Like, it's coming back to that. But at that time, it was in your face. Neighbors would just call you Packy. They would break into your house. They broke into our house. They used to throw bricks through our windows. Many
Wow.
things. Even my own friends, like the white people, they used to do jokes upon me. I used to be like the little packy kid to them. You know, you're just a packy. And I was small and feeble that time and had no brothers and sisters, no backup. So it was really tough, actually. And they would go around packy bashing. Skinheads used to go around packy bashing.
Wow.
So you get your head kicked in. Yeah, if you was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow.
And they were blatant. They didn't care. That time it was blatant to your face. You know, it was really tough. But as things moved on, the Jamaicans, there were some Jamaicans around my area, and I was associating myself with them. And music was a thing that was to be played in my house at the beginning. There used to be a program called Top of the Pops. I don't know if you ever know it.
No. No, but I'm sure we had something similar. I'm sure we had similar things back in the States, like America. We had our Casey Kasem's top 40. We had America's number one, number one, and then we had the top 100 charts. We have quite a few. So I get the point.
So I used to watch this and think, and being influenced by the Jamaicans around me, I really loved the Jamaican culture and the Jamaican music, because Jamaican music at that time, it was all about message, about Bob Marley and other artists like, probably wouldn't even heard of them, but they used to be really, to saying something for the people. They used to be like the voice of the people. That's what I thought that was like really positive. So I kind of drew, being from my background, being around revolutionary people, I thought, wow, this is something I want to get involved in.
Yeah.
And I used to act like a Jamaican, walk like a Jamaican, talk like a Jamaican, dream like a Jamaican, but I wasn't a Jamaican, I was a Jafaican, so basically.
Jafaican, yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds like a cake or something,
It should be. I
Jafaican.
probably can make money out of it, actually. But anyway, so that was many, many years ago. And that's how I got involved in that thing. But back to my grandmother, yeah, she was a very, very serious woman, She used to, she never used to have no crap, really. But what happened, when my mum died, my mum got terminally ill like 11 years ago, and I looked after her. They gave her 3 months, but they gave her 3 months, but she lived for 1 year, and it was the most important time of my life, to be honest. That 1 year that I spent with my mum was just amazing, and I was there from the beginning to the end. Went to the hospital. Alhamdulillah, where we lived, the hospital was 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
So we used to go there for the chemo and all that, and she went through all that as well. And then the day came when Allah, kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut.
No doubt, yeah.
Yeah. So every soul has to taste death, and unto us you have to return. So when my mum passed away, my grandmother was left, and no one really wanted to look after my grandmother. None of the family.
Allah bless you. I know, I've heard the story, and you know what? You're always there for her. Allah give you a reward. Allah give you Jannah for this. You know that. You're always there for her. You've been there for a long time. And you know what, Abdul Wahab, most people don't know this, but you've actually sacrificed. You haven't just been there for her. You've sacrificed what you could have done, where you could have gone, what you could have been instead. And that's a big thing. So don't lose that reward thinking, just focusing only on the pain of it. Rather, the gain of it is waiting in the akhirah, at the very least. And then, there's still time. In fact, everyone's waiting for you to bust out with something, like, Nanini, why? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Ziggy, 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 something. I don't know. I'm excited. Go on. Bismillah. I'm not a singer. That's something I always wish I had a voice for. I always wish I could sing, but I'm just not a singer. I really am not.
Oh God, you put me on the spot now.
Go on.
But you got to join. You got to help me, because I know there's one that you like, and because we're in a time, I don't want to get too serious. I want something more uplifting. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want to spread love, spread salams. Okay.
So salam alaikum, man.
Exactly. And you're gonna help me. Okay. So
all right. Abdullah, you can help me as well, okay? Just come over to the side there. Go on, help me. Join in. Come on. Here you go.
But hopefully the angels are watching, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I saw me greet my brother and my sister, the whole nation. Peace be upon you is the English translation. Everyone we tell the world and nation to nation, don't give me the obligation. Even though we're locked down, we have to spread love and dedication. Everyone we tell them no. Assalamu alaikum and
wa alaikum salam.
I saw me greet my brother, sister, and the whole nation. Assalamu alaikum and
wa alaikum salam.
I saw me greet my papa and every human. Assalamu alaikum and
wa alaikum salam.
in English it means peace be upon. Assalamu alaikum and
Wa alaikum salam.
Watch me tell them now. Watch this. After
Uh-oh.
me read from the Holy Quran, I me know where me going to, where me coming from after me walk. With the Almighty One, me no need no knife, and me no want no gun after me talk. With the Islamic tongue, said the Prophet was sent to teach the nation. Who no listen and who no understand. The wicked are going melt like the butter in
Sound
the
good?
sun when the Almighty. I said the Almighty have to come. We will love the Almighty children. Say God made man and God make woman. We bring a wonderful righteousness nation. The black and the white, the Chinese, Arab and Indian, Caribbean, European, Mister and the Asian. Say put on no knife and put on no gun. The fussing and the fighting, you know where to feed on. Say let's get together, make we live as one. And build a better world like God for children. Come join along. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
As I make with my brother, sister, and the whole nation. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
As I make with my mama, papa, and every human. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
In English, it means peace be upon. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
Watch me tell them now. I see the innocent people crying. Every day another youth is dying. We got to stand up for our rights. Nanny well, whether you're black or whether you're white, I really don't care. If you believe in unification, put your hand in the air. Don't you think it's time we get together this year? Babylon them scare. United we stand and divided we fall. Even though they've got to feel we're back against the wall. You know we got to move and we just can't stall. I'm sending this message to each and every all. Youth and youth stop with the gang war. So when time come and you know you're going to fall to the Almighty One. Maybe gonna answer the call for the Muslims. Me not stop ball when me say Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
In English it means peace be upon. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
So me greet me mama, papa, and every human. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
In English it means peace be upon. Salam alaikum man.
Wa alaikum salam.
Watch me tell them now. Inshallah, there will be worldwide peace. Inshallah, time and the loving will increase. Inshallah, full of God for children. Inshallah, the fasting and the fighting are fed on. Inshallah, come make we join as one. Inshallah, this virus Lord are fed on. Inshallah, talking to every human. To every human is an obligation. To every Muslim is an obligation. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
That's it.
MashaAllah, 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 MashaAllah.
You put me on the spot,
Takbir.
man. Allahu Akbar.
MashaAllah.
Can we
Oh,
please
man, that
dedicate?
was
Can we
beautiful.
please
That was
donate now
beautiful.
some money, please?
Yeah, can I donate some money now? Click the link. You know, Abdul Wahab and me, we're here. Hey, man, you know what? We do
No,
all
I'm
of this
joking.
stuff, and we love to
Because you say
entertain,
takbir,
right?
you know the takbir, they all do that in the donation. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar. Absolutely, man. That's why we do it, right? No, you say it. No, you say it.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. Allah bless you guys. Listen, we do, Abdul Wahab, our fundraising is quite humble, alhamdulillah. We've been trying to set it up instead of trying to do big fundraisers and doing lots of
One
expenses,
Eid, man.
etc.
One Eid.
You know. And so what we do is we're just asking everyone to give £500 a day. So we're just trying to get to everyone, 50 people to give 10 quid. If we raise £500 in a day, job done. By the end of the month, we've covered most of the costs and we can plan for the next year. So Eid al-Adha is around the corner, even though we're thinking Eid al-Fitr, but Eid al-Adha is there. And you know what? If we missed out on Ramadan at home, away from the masjid, I mean, and we miss out on Eid as well, Eid al-Adha, we're going to need it bigger and better and more than ever, don't you think, to bring everyone together?
Of course, we have to. And the Prophet Muhammad said in it, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. You're not a true believer until you want for your brother what you want for yourself. So, we know, if we can sit, and even try to feel the pain that the people who have no house, no roof over their head, no shelter, no security, no food, starving to death, and we eat, and we're here just sacrificing a little few hours.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat. Our fridges are full of food. The shops are still getting filled up. There's not, there's not like somewhere we can't go and get nothing. There's friends we can talk to. There's family we can go. If we need food, we can go and call somebody. I'm sure every one of us has that link, and these people have nothing. They just have us.
Allahu Akbar, that's so
They have
true.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, they have Allah, and Allah, may Allah make us a means
Ameen.
to help them. you know, because we've neglected the world. I don't know how there's I've seen recently as well as I've drove around. Sometimes you go out to get things and stuff like that. I'm not saying outside, just because obviously we have to keep ourselves inside. It's very important. Stay at home. I don't know if anybody see my message. Stay at home. Stay in your yard.
I saw your.
Stay in your yard.
Hey, you know what, Abdurrahman? I'm going to send you this message, and you tell me if you can play it. All right?
Right,
Let me see.
It's just a joke, but it's a joke. It's funny, but it's serious as well. We have to try to do what the government has said in regards to staying at home, and I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories about that as well. I know there is, but
what's the conspiracy theories?
That they're just trying to establish the the 5G and while we're in a lockdown and all this kind of thing. Allahu alam, I don't know.
You know what? You sent it to me, but it's not there now. Unfortunately, it's not working. WhatsApp. Yeah, send it again. Send it to Abdurrahman's phone as well. Maybe
it's on Islam channel thing anyway. It's on their page, actually, on the Facebook.
Yeah, but yeah, stay home, guys. Stay safe. Do your bit. And I know it's a bit difficult for some people with groceries, elders, etc. But you know what? Don't be a hermit either. Put your shoes on. Put some gloves on. Go door to door. Check on your neighbors. Say, hey Nancy. Hey Stephen. Hey Mike. Whoever. Abdul, Omar. Whoever's there. Knock on the door. Check on them. See how they're doing. Make sure your neighbors are doing. This is an opportunity for people to see the real beauty of how Muslims think and behave. The only reason for 100 years or more Muslims have not engaged in helping much in society is because they feel they're second class and not welcomed or not part of. Well, you know what? Right now, nobody's thinking like that. Everyone is all about life and human values. Knock on doors. This is the time to show people how we have always been here for them. This is our community. So do your bit. Knock on the door. This is dawah time. What time? Dawah time.
That's true.
This is the most important time to make dawah. By how? By example. By your best example, inshallah.
That's so true. Allahu Akbar. There could be a better time, and like you said, to connect spiritually now is the time.
Hey, Abdul Wahab, I got a brother named Usman who goes by Uzi on our group, mashallah, and he donates here and there towards charity. And today he just donated 50 pounds towards one Eid after saying Salam alaikum, man, 50 pounds.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!
That's great, man.
I just love that he did that.
May Allah accept it from him and forgive him and bless him and make it easy for him, inshallah. And give him Jannat Firdaus, when that time comes, inshallah, for all of us, and make it easy on the reckoning.
Ameen.
Bless his family as well. Ameen.
Ameen. So here's what I think. Okay, here's my conspiracy. My conspiracy about this whole situation is that the Prophet ﷺ prayed in a time where he wanted to praise Allah so much that his feet would crack and bleed. And when Aisha radiallahu anha one night woke and she couldn't find him, she felt around the masjid, she found his foot in sujood, and she heard him saying, لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. Yeah, I cannot praise you enough. You are as you have praised yourself. I think, for forgetting about conspiracies and theories, it's more about the true purpose of this month. Treat today and yesterday as if it was the last day of Ramadan, the way you did last year. The last day of Ramadan last year, how you felt, that's how you should behave today. So tomorrow is the last fast. Tonight, iftar is your final last evening of Taraweeh. How is your Taraweeh tonight going to be? And how will you fast tomorrow and Ramadan is finished? Treat today and tomorrow like that, inshallah, and see the difference of true iman. And stop talking about food with Muslims, about iftar and suhoor, and about, oh, it's tough. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm not so bad. I'm all right. I'm not going to the gym. No, instead talk about my iman. I was in the garden reciting Quran, and a bird flew by and sat down to listen. Share that information. I saw a neighbor walking, and I knew this was my chance to show the beauty of Islam. I went out there and offered help when she was carrying her bags or boxes. My point is, find spirit stories around your life day to day, and let those things be the subject of your conversations. Ahmad Babar Ahmed, his articles all over the internet right now about his conversation about Ramadan and how he spent Ramadan in prison and how he would squeeze an orange into a cup, put it at the air conditioning and let it cool in time for iftar time. So he would break his fast
He's
with
actually
that.
my friend. Actually, I know him personally, Baba Ahmed. Yeah,
MashaAllah. When was the last time you spoke to him? When was the last time you saw him?
well, because of this lockdown, it's been a little while, but he's from my area as well, and alhamdulillah, we're on the WhatsApp together as well. So he sends me stuff, and we message each other, and I send him stuff.
But I found it so
That
spiritual,
brother is an
uplifting, reading
amazing
his.
brother. He's no, he's
Yeah.
an amazing brother. His story is amazing. Him himself is an amazing brother. May Allah bless him. He's,
Ameen. Ameen.
and we were there, the time in his struggle as well. We were a part of the campaign to try to,
I
not,
remember. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. All of us were. All
yeah.
of us were about that campaign, and many others. Some brothers are still locked up.
Yes, we can't forget these brothers, because look at the hardship they're going through and stuff. May Allah make it easy for them as well. This is what I'm saying. The luxuries that we have, we've got no idea. And like what you said, I like the idea of thinking it's just the last day left, because that's the way to think in life. You're not guaranteed the next minute. No one's guaranteed the next minute. So
It's
you should
not.
you
It's
should
not. And
take
Babur's
the
story
opportunity.
really hit home. You know that, especially when he was speaking about things like squeezing the orange, cooling it down with the air conditioning, or how about using a tea bag and lukewarm water, or dates. He said, I hadn't had dates in those years. I was in solitary. I was dreaming about having dates. And then the food iftar time was Islam. They connected. Oh, Bilal, make the adhan so we could find some peace in Salah. Oh, Aisha, please give me permission to go to the Salah. I want to go pray. Give me peace. He was asking her for permission to move away from her so he could pray. My point is, that's the essence of Ramadan, and most people have missed it. They missed out. And I find this year, the 2020, the year Ramadan went back to the Sunnah. That's how I see it. It's all about the Sunnah revival.
Yeah, of course.
And I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to look at their family situation, children, kids, fix things, fix problems at home, get rid of evils, get rid of fatana. So the rest of the year, when you go outside, you're an incredible asset to the ummah. But if your household and home is not sorted out, you come out looking strong, but you're actually weak.
Yeah.
And that's my belief. I believe that's what we can do, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, the way of the Prophet Muhammad is the best. As we know, there's no better way. There's no one who worshipped Allah more than the Prophet Muhammad. There's no one who understood, as you said, as it's been said, Aisha radiallahu anha, she said when she was asked, "Who is the Prophet? Who is the Prophet Muhammad?" He's the walking Quran.
Absolutely.
I mean, that statement alone is, is enough. To understand who this light of the earth was. And still is.
MashaAllah. Absolutely. It's
You know,
incredible.
so we have the best example to follow, and we should tap into that. And obviously, in all matters, the Prophet Muhammad in all matters, And Ramadan, he was even more in what he was. More. I mean, it's hard to believe because he's so great anyway, and even he stepped up the ibadah in Ramadan even more. Unbelievable. It's the. I mean. What can you ask for, really? I mean,
I think you hit the nail on the head, and that's the beauty of Ramadan. Ramadan is about connecting back with Allah, yourself, by yourself, you and Him alone, and realizing how much you love the Prophet ﷺ or don't by
yeah,
looking in the mirror. How much do I emulate him? How much do I have him in my life?
yeah,
Do I love the Prophet ﷺ more than I love myself? And then speaking to Allah about your issues. Oh Allah, why don't I love Muhammad like I should? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Oh Allah, why don't I have attachment to the Quran like I should? And increase that, fix it. Pray, make dua, udu'uni wastajib lakum. Call upon me, I'll answer you. And that's what this month is for us to reconnect with Azza wa Jal, but also rebuild our relationship and love for the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
of course. I mean, the whole this in it. There's so many ayats of the Quran. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام وما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. The ayat there. It says it all, isn't it? I think you was explaining it before. You know, this is the month to reconnect. You know, it's been ordered upon you. Alhamdulillah, it's been ordered upon us, because if it wasn't, I don't think maybe a lot of us wouldn't do it. You know, and we wouldn't.
Well, of course, you know, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say, I have prescribed for you.
Yeah,
If a doctor gives you something, it means you're sick. So the
yeah,
doctor's telling you, I know you're sick, you need to take this. And with the medicine comes instructions on how you take it, what time of the day you take it, and where you take it. So kutibu alaykum as-siyam. I have prescribed this fasting for you so that you can attain taqwa, which means throughout the year that taqwa jacket wears out. The taqwa is slowly wearing away. We need to rebuild that,
Allah.
rekindle our fear of Jahannam, rekindle our love of wanting to be in Firdaus al-Ala, rekindle our hopes and dreams about Firdaus and about Al-Kawthar and about Hur al-Ain and about the palaces and the gardens and the fruits. You know, there's not enough conversations about what's in Jannah, while people are out there talking about sports cars, Lamborghinis,
Can you imagine?
Ferraris,
Like,
jackets, clothes.
we got the whole month to go through the whole of the Quran, and look how much stories are in the Quran. Magnificent truth stories, not conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Truthful stories about, I mean, all the prophets, their struggles. I mean, unbelievable. You know, unbelievable. You can, Musa alayhi salam, how much times he's mentioned this struggle, what he went through, how he got thrown out because, you know, what he did. And they accused him of, you know, of the killing, and then he struck the
Yeah,
Christian, but
yeah.
and he got thrown out, and he was in sorrow for that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look, it made him a prophet. You know, said, no,
MashaAllah.
yeah, Musa, you know, you're not done. You're not done. You know, as he went to Madyana, and you know, he met I think it's Yaqub. Is it Yaqub was there, or was one of the prophets that he married from the
Um,
from his daughters?
no, it's
Was it Yaqub? It was not Yaqub. Was it? Was who was it? But anyway, saying that he married from one of the prophet's daughters, isn't it? Because that was a
yeah,
prophet
he
as
did.
well. Yes.
I'm trying to remember who.
Yeah.
Was it
And then
Shuaib?
he
No.
got sent back. He got sent. You need to go back to Pharaoh. You know. Was it innahu Torah? Innahu he's in great error. You know, Pharaoh, and go back and warn him. You know, give him the glad tidings though. But even look, as he sent him back to warn him, he said, "Go in, you know, with a kind word." You know, not even harsh. That's another thing I want to talk about how people today as well in regards to, because the social media is a big thing now. You know, and I was going to talk a bit, just mention a bit about how we address people in social media, and the comments that we make has an effect, you know, on many things. So we should think very carefully when we want to give nasiha and advice. There's a way to give nasiha and advice with hikmah, with truth, and with patience. If you're giving it with anger and stuff, you're not really giving it sincerely. You know, and you're going to cause more problems. Yeah, I know the youth are very, you know, this social media is an amazing thing. It has its good and its bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no way we, you know, it's in our lives, and it's there now, and it's how long it's going to last for Allah Alam, because I think there will come a time from the hadith for the Prophet Muhammad somewhere we will go back to horses
Back
and
to
stuff.
stones and sticks and
Yes,
horses.
yes, and I'm assuming that because there is a world war coming, and we know that, and then that will probably ruin the electric, and that will come back to that, maybe Allah Alam, I don't know. I'm not a scholar, but I'm just anyway saying that why the social media is here, and we want to give advice, and we all have an opportunity to talk and express our feelings, so we never used to have before. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know, I remember back in the day when you want to talk to somebody, you had to go and knock on their door and stuff. You know, now people are texting each other in the homes, and I hope that's another thing that the people are not doing. I'm alone actually by myself here, and I
Yeah.
mean, actually, I'm used to being alone because of being a single child. Allah's kind of give me that's what I'm kind of used to. I'm not saying it's something. There's benefits in it, and obviously there's other things to it as well, you know. But saying that, you know, we shouldn't use, you know, this is a time to communicate with families as well. You know, I hope that we're not texting, or families, the big families, are not texting each other from upstairs to downstairs, and you're not talking to each other, because this is the time, yeah, that you've been put together as well, secluded, and you can't and isolating together for a purpose as well, to get to know each other, to understand each other better in Ramadan. And what a great time to do it in Ramadan. But saying that when people are commenting on on other people's, you know, speeches or whatever, you know, be mindful what you write, you know, because it causes an effect.
You hurt somebody's feelings and you affect their psychology. I know exactly what you're saying. Someone gets a bit down because of what you said or what you did, and then they treat their wife bad, they treat their daughter bad, they treat their son bad, they're rude to other people because they're a downer. Or you praise someone, you boost someone's energy up, and they're nicer to their neighbors, they're nicer to their family, they're nicer to people. It has a knock-on effect.
Yes, and we need to think about that as well in Ramadan as well if we're going to do, because like I said, a lot of people are connected to social media. We're doing this through social media, and even more now because we're stuck in the house. And I've had this one personal experience myself of people commenting on and alhamdulillah, I'm not saying I personally, you do read these things. Don't think that the people that maybe you think they're unreachable because they may be slightly known or something like that, they do actually read this stuff. And you should think how you carry yourself, because people are watching that, especially as Muslims. I'm not saying I'm the perfect one either. We all fall short. Something just to think, just to ponder. I want to share that with whoever's viewing this video.
Check your
Please think
WhatsApp.
about what you write down, because Allah's as well. Allah writes, everything that we say and everything that you've written down, or every comment that you've made, it's all
Yeah.
noted there, and you will be
That's
accountable.
kind of scary, by the way, because I know in the old days, the Arabic, it's written that kiram and katibin, they write
Right.
down your good and bad
That's right.
deeds.
Yes.
But when we think of modern times, would the verses have said that, or would the verses have said recorded?
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
I don't know what it is, because when you come out to the day of judgment, do you see a book with deeds of text, or do you actually see three-dimensional video of what you did?
Allahu alam. They said there's a book in it, Sijjin is given to you.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm saying these are phrases that we haven't understood because no one's seen the book of Sijin, do we?
of
What is
course.
a book? Because Facebook is a book, but
Uh,
it's a digital platform. I'm saying Allah's technology is unlimited.
of
I'm
course.
saying that everything that we do, we will see our actions. How? I have no idea. It's kind of scary. So it's kind of embarrassing. And I take comfort in the Hadith Qudsi that Allah brings the believer close to him and shelters him and hides him and then shows him his deeds. And the man feels ashamed and ruined. Is there any mercy for me today? And Allah said, yes, I've hidden your deeds in the dunya. I've hidden them today and I've forgiven them. Enter paradise by my mercy.
Allahu Akbar.
We pray for that. You know what I
Ar-Rahman.
mean? Because it's scary
Ar-Rahman.
seeing your
That's it.
deeds.
The most merciful. Ar-Rahman. We can't. Sometimes we don't understand Allah's attributes. We can't comprehend them. They're too great. They're too great. We can't know the depth of them. How Allah sees things, and sometimes we want to see we we see people. Thinking that we can give them judgment, or we can. I'm not saying that you can't give people nasiha and you can't give advice. I'm not saying that. Please don't take this wrong. I'm just saying what I see in regards to how people are very just easy to just write things and not think about the consequences on themselves
Oh,
as
I
well.
know. You're talking about keyboard warriors, man. Just call it like it is. You're talking about keyboard warriors. And you know what? I love you guys. I love you, brothers and sisters out there. But the reality is, if the shoe fits, that's all it is. So you're sitting there typing away and you're saying things, but you're not taking time to think about what you're saying. You're not taking the time to ask someone first. So you're just blurting stuff. And I see youth, 13 years old, saying things in text that I think came from a 25-year-old because it's quite bold. And then later, when I find out it's a 13-year-old, I'm quite offended because I was speaking to him thinking it's a 25, 30-year-old, just didn't know better and needed advice. My point is the text is incredibly effective. So make sure you're doing good with it. Whatever you're typing, it's effective. So make sure you're saying it in a way with words, with expressions that are going to benefit and encourage people to do good
that
and
even
be
comes
happy, inshallah.
that even comes like it's all connected to even WhatsApp groups, because now a lot of people are connected onto WhatsApps, and you find them having debates and stuff, but then it can get into seriousness, so people start to use foul language and stuff like that. And I think to myself, what made you get to that point? I mean, I know we're all human and we definitely make mistakes, and we can all get angry. I understand that, but you're on a group, and uh, it's a form of communication, but there should be some respect in it as well. So even on WhatsApp groups, lots of people have different WhatsApp groups. We should try to, especially the Muslims as well, especially us Muslims, me, myself, talking to myself. Anything I'm saying on this camera today, I'm firstly talking to myself. Don't ever think I'm just giving I give sincere advice to myself first. So and then and then I try to share it, inshallah. So this is something I see, just things I'm seeing from a common layman, original.
MashaAllah. Original Nata. Go on, man. Let's hear it, man. We want to hear Nanini White, man. Everyone's waiting.
Well,
Everybody's waiting.
You're killing me today, and I'm
Now,
fasting,
go on.
and I haven't got a voice left.
You got a wicked voice, mashallah.
Oh man. Okay.
I wish I had a drum or something I could play for you, but I don't even know how to play drums, man. I said I wish I had a duff or a drum. I'm not even good at that.
I'm just trying to remember these lyrics because I haven't recited them. I haven't chatted them for a long
Everyone
time.
at home,
don't
be shy. Sing along with Abdul Wahab. So sing along with him. Everyone at home, sing along.
No, don't sing along.
Go on.
Everlasting name. I was a nutter, but now I'm a changed brother. So all right, mate, know what you're doing, mate, before it's too late. Every soul will taste the fate. Here we tell him now, live and direct, you don't know. Nanini boys, no. Nanini boys, no. Nanini boys, no. Who ya he? No. Bad boys in a London, rude boys in a England, bad boys in a Jacan, rude boys in a Kingston, two of the bad boys in America, or the rude boys in Africa, two of the bad boys in Arabia, or the rude boys all over. I was a nutter, original, mad, nutter, original, nutter, original, mad, nutter, original, I was a nutter. Wanna be gangster, thought I was smarter, thought I was wise, I never listened to my mother. Single parent, absent father, the recipe peak for a big disaster. But life is stranger as you move closer, and as you move older, could I find no chapter? You start to think, you start to wonder the purpose of life. Is this the answer? To be a baller, to be a player, to mislead the blind straight to the fire. So I bond the liar, trusted the eye, and got the truth. No, bad boys in a London, rude boys in a England, bad boys in a Jacan, rude boys in a Kingston, two of the bad boys in America, or the rude boys in Africa, two of the bad boys in Arabia, or the rude boys all over. I was a nutter, original, mad, nutter, original, nutter, original, mad. To change my life, left the strife, left the darkness and I found the light. Demon forces inside I fight, so I give thanks and praise me say day and night, because in this time of pure war and crime, you better leave it behind. You better focus your mind upon the one divine, upon the one divine. No better waste no time, no better waste your time. Stay firm to the road, even when it is cold. You gotta take the big load. Don't make your heart get sold, because the story is old, but it's never been told. It's gotta be told. Listen. Don't you think it's time we respect the elders? Well, don't you think it's time we respect the youngers? Well, don't you think it's time we respect the neighbor? Well, don't you think it's time we respect the creator? Well, bad boys in a London, rude boys in a England, bad boys in a Jacan, rude boys in a Kingston, two of the bad boys in America, or the rude boys in Africa, two of the bad boys in Arabia, or the rude boys all over. Don't be a murderer, shoot nobody on the corner. Me, don't be a murderer, stab nobody on the corner. Me, don't be a murderer, shot no drugs up on the corner. Me, don't be a murderer, drunk up yourself up on the corner. Don't be a murderer, rape no woman on the corner. On me, don't be a murderer. Feed somebody from the corner. On me, don't be a murderer. Do something good up on the corner. On me, don't be a murderer. Do something good up on the corner, corner,
Inshallah.
corner, corner.
Mashallah, mashallah. Mashallah. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir.
Allah.
One more time. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Mashallah. We're
You're
going to have
killing me
you on
today.
stage. I know, you know what? If we don't have one Eid this year, we're going to have a live concert on the internet. How's
I've just
that?
done it all now. I think
You've done it today. Now, this is a taster. We're going to get the dubs, the drums. We're going to have different people, different where, everyone logged on. We're going to have proper beats, inshallah. We'll figure it out.
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, that was beautiful. Hey, Abdul Wahab, thank you so much for your time. Let me just check all the time. Yep, we're really close. So now we've got an hour.
We have to end with one more thing. I have to do some Quran.
Yeah, go. Oh, absolutely. I was gonna say that we can end it on some good points, and then everyone take a good half hour of some Quran reading and some Tawbah and some Salah and make some Dua before it. Don't let it be that you're trying to kill this time and get it over with so you can get to the food. That's the habit everyone has every year. This Ramadan, we're going to try to hold on to every single moment of fasting. Let that hunger make sense in the brain, bringing us back to our senses, inshallah. Take it away, Abdul Wahab. Give us some beautiful verses, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب ألف لام ميم. I forgot. I was going to do that. I was going to do the surah.
Are you doing Baqarah or
No,
Imran?
I was going to do hold on a minute. Because
Take your time.
sweating.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في السور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, barakallah fiqh.
Allah bless you, Abdul Wahab. Thank you so much for your time. And inshallah, we're going to do this again.
I'm fasting. I've been doing 3 or 4 chatting all this time. And
or you get double the reward, triple the reward, inshallah. Yeah, for each thing separately. That's it. Making the niyyah for his sake alone. And you know what? We got 28 more days like this, inshallah. So me and you are gonna have a lot more to talk about, okay? A little bit more planning. But we're gonna have more talk with the technical issues sorted out as well. Today was a bit of a trial, a bit of a taster for everyone. What happens when a Texan and a Jamaican come together? All right. So I'm as fake a Texan as you are a fake Jamaican. We're both just as fake. But you know what? In the heart, I'm a Texan. In the heart, you're Jamaican. That's how I feel.
No, in the heart, we're Muslim, inshallah.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Well,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
there's Muslims in Texas. There's Muslims in Jamaica. The whole world is
Allah
Allah's planet. You know what I mean. The whole earth is our masjid, inshallah.
Allah, Allah. I would say
I love you for the sake of Allah.
anything evil I said comes from myself and shaitan. Anything good comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah forgive us and forgive me for for anything that's wrong, inshallah, and accept the good from it, inshallah.
Ameen, ameen.
And may Allah bless all the people that tuned in today and listened and donated as well. May Allah bless you all, inshallah, for the time. And I hope I didn't bore you too much.
You never bore nobody, man. You're just as interesting as they could possibly come, brother Abdul Wahab. And you know what? Maybe say a few words. We've got one brother donated £100. Alhamdulillah, or £200.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar.
So just for the people's sake, how do they donate? How can people donate?
All they need to do is message any of the platform. Just send a message saying I want to donate. We'll give you a link directly. Everyone is given
Message
a special.
What's up, group?
This is on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Wherever they're watching, just message there on the video saying, I want to donate. And we'll get in touch with you. We'll send you the link. The link is available for everyone to use. And the best part about it is absolutely free. There's no fees involved. But most importantly, you get an opportunity to do a daily giving, if you like, £1, £2 on a daily basis. So every day of Ramadan is covered. Or you just give a one-off, whatever you wish, inshallah. But the best part is my 10 nights. We're doing my 10 nights as well. So it's guaranteed one of those nights will be Laylatul Qadr and your sadaqah will count, inshallah. And then just so you know, Abdul Wahab, from last year, I think we achieved some crazy number of 30, 40,000 tents for the Syrian refugees. We delivered thousands of tents. We delivered hundreds of thousands of food packs. We looked after a good number of families, and at least 25, 30 masajid were built. So the work Wani has achieved this year has been phenomenal, better than ever before. And next year, we're looking at something even more. So it's all about you and I. Right now, we're keeping it small just because of this Ramadan situation. We need to give dawah. We're giving out free food packs. We're doing free iftar for people in mosques, in hospitals, people are working in hospitals, patients, people running the hospitals, people working in special units. I've got all these phone calls coming in from Brother Arshad at Serving Humanity. So we're going to be delivering food packs, iftar time food packs, as well as homeless food packs throughout this month. So it's £50, £20, whatever you can give right now. Target is to hit another £400 before the day is done. So after iftar, after we pray Isha, we'll come back online. If Abdul Wahab's awake and available, he's welcome to join us again. Inshallah, we'd love to have you again.
I can't promise that, to be honest. But
no, I totally get it. If you're available, but we're here daily, every day, inshallah.
May Allah bless you and bless all the people that's working with you there and your family and everything. May Allah bless them and have a good, Ramadan.
Big up One Eid.
You don't know One Eid. Big up from the original.
Allah bless you,
see you
man.
again on the comment. Hopefully next time, inshallah, next Eid in Eid al-Adha, inshallah. We hopefully if things are better that time, we can all meet again on the comment, inshallah, like we always do every year.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You need to get time next time, yeah, because you was a bit out of time when there was.
I was. Sorry, man.
That's okay.
Take care, inshallah.
Take care.
Assalamu alaikum. Everyone else, I love you for the sake of Allah. I wish you all the happiness in the world. You've got about 20, 30 minutes. address or something, and I can save you my contacts, and I can add you to my WhatsApp group that I'm going to start posting up daily messages on, inshallah. So drop me a message, but also please, please, please follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, Al Fitra Academy. I'm your brother Jalal ibn Saeed. I look forward to seeing you again either later this evening, else tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.